Hey everyone, my name's Tony. I am an integrative counsellor, and today I would like to talk about the BACP Ethical Framework, and in particular the 6 principles that help me in my practice with my clients. So if you've seen any of my videos before, you'll know that it'll be straight through. I don't do editing. If I mess up, I mess up. That's just me being me. And I'd rather come across as me rather than something that's finely polished, should we say. So there are 6 principles that we are going to look at. There is principle number 1, which is about being trustworthy. So how I integrate this into my practice is that I respect the confidentiality of sessions, so I don't break it unless there is a legal or safeguarding sort of risk thing involved. There's obviously a lot of things that people come and talk to me about in terms of personal issues and things that they wouldn't want me discussing with, Joe Blogs down the road sort of thing. So it is a case of anything that's discussed with me in session remains with me in session. There's never any details or anything that's leaked out in that sense. Now, being trustworthy for me is high importance. I do need to make sure that I am keeping the identity of my clients anonymous, because that's their personal stuff and they're trusting me with it. So if I'd gone to somebody else, I would want that reciprocated. That's kind of like how it is. But that's how I am in terms of being trustworthy. I also earn trust by regularly turning up on time or always turning up on time for sessions set, doing what I say when I say I will do it. So it's about building that trust in the therapeutic relationship. So that is being trustworthy as a whole and how it informs my practice. Point number 2, so principle number 2 is autonomy. Now, I get that this is a word that a lot of people may not have come across before, but it's basically respecting the right of a client to govern themselves. So this means that you make your own choices, you make your own decisions, and that's up to you. I'm not going to try and influence that in any way whatsoever. So how else do I respect it? If I've got a client that has requested I don't phone call them, I don't ring them. I don't phone call them. That's a good way of putting it, isn't it? I don't ring them between certain hours, or I only ring if there is a pre-agreed date and time. Then I can adhere to that and stick with that, because that is something that they've chosen. I'm respecting their rights for that. Same in regards to how often somebody comes to counselling. I put the ball completely in the client's court. I'm not someone that says, oh, well, you've got to have weekly sessions. Not me. I won't do it. My reasoning for this is because with counselling you have to be engaged, and if you are there when you don't really feel like being there, you're not really going to engage in the session fully. And it might become more of a chore rather than something for your own benefit. So yeah, respecting the frequency, respecting any communication guidelines that the client may set. Like if they want to be in a position to be able to see the clock, to be able to monitor their time so that they're not worried about going over or anything like that. These are things that a client has control of when they're in session with me. They can do these things if they would like to. Okay. Another way to respect the autonomy is to not give advice. So I don't tell my clients what to do. We could perhaps look at the good points of something that they would like to do, but also look at the more negatives so they have more of a whole rounded view of their situation and enable them to make a better informed choice, perhaps, or just so they know what they can do and what they want to do. Again, it's respecting the fact that the client has the right to make their own choices. And that's how it should be, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so principle number 3, beneficence. Again, another word that people do not come across very often. So this is a commitment to promoting well-being. It can be as simple as, you know, celebrating those good things that our clients enjoyed, or, you know, something that they've done for themselves, made themselves feel really good. Little accomplishments. It is about little accomplishments, but it's also about checking out their self-care. So, you know, how are they looking after themselves? Have they got boundaries that are a little bit flaky? Do they change depending on the person? Are they accepting, or are they prepared to take more, I want to say grief, but that's probably not the right word here, but will they move their boundaries for other people? And is it hindering them? So again, we would look at the whole picture, what's suitable for a client, and it will be about promoting what is best for them. So check out how they're feeling about certain situations, evaluate it, and enable them to make their choices. So you'll notice that the principles do link into one another. So by promoting their well-being, it also leads into autonomy. So they back each other up in a way. Okay. Principle number 4, non-maleficence. I do apologise for these words. I know they're not everyday language, but non-maleficence is to do no harm. So the way that this informs my practice is that I don't give advice. So again, I won't tell someone what to do, linking into autonomy. But also accepting a client for who they are. In normal day-to-day life, in the outside world, if you like, we are judged as people and by what we do. When you come into my counselling room, you can tell me about the sorts of things that you've done, or how you're feeling about different things. Difference is I'm not going to put you down for it. It's about accepting clients as they are, not as I expect someone to be, because there's no expectation on that. It is literally do no harm. So that includes that I won't judge you, and I will not put you down for anything that you may have done. There could be shame around it, embarrassment around it. I'm not someone to sit and go, well, you shouldn't have really done that. No, that's not my place. It's about accepting you for you and who you are, and to not do anything to cause you harm. Point number 5? Number 5, yes. So this is justice. So how does justice inform my practice? So when I think about justice, I think about treating everybody fairly, and the principle does name to treat people fairly and provide an adequate service. So I treat everybody fairly by enabling access to my services. So if I'm out doing a walk and talk, for instance, and I've got someone that has mobility issues, then I will scout out a walk and talk area that is suitable. So for instance, avoiding steps, flat surfaces, anything that can make it accessible for a client. If they do have any additional needs, they let me know, then I will accommodate as much as possible. There's another point that I think needs a nod here. With counselling, we have supervision. Now, supervision is not like a normal managerial role where someone oversees my work as such. It tells me what to do, but they are there more as an advice kind of place. So if I'm not quite sure how to work with something, I can go to supervision and they can give me another perspective. Part of supervision is that somebody else is keeping an eye on the work and what it is that I'm doing, to check for perhaps any unknown biases that might be coming into the work. Someone to overlook and give a different perspective on something, to help me help my clients, because I might not be seeing something that's right in front of my face. But that's something that is useful and beneficial, and it helps me provide an adequate service for all. So that's justice. The last one is about self-respect. So this means fostering my knowledge, basically. It means looking after myself and to make sure that I am continuously developing professionally, staying current with the times, the research, the societal demands as well. So I need to know a little bit about what's going on in society, as that may be impacting my clients too. There's also self-care. This is about me being there for you. If I take on too much of a heavy workload, for instance, if I have too many clients on, I will end up being worn down. And that's not ideal, because if I'm worn down, then I'm not going to be fully focused, and I'm not going to be there 100% for my clients. So part of self-respect is ensuring that I do look after me. So I need to look after me professionally and personally to ensure that I can then be there and hold a space for my clients. So those are the 6 principles. They do help me in my work. They remind me to look after myself. They remind me to treat everybody fairly, that everyone is an individual and that everyone needs to be treated as such in that sense. So thank you very much for listening. I've kind of given you a really quick rundown on how it informs my practice. So hopefully you found it informative. Thanks.